Good morning, everyone. We are so delighted to provide this webinar of the EVE training course for ASVA and ALVA members. Welcome, everyone. And also a huge thanks to Catherine Bowie for her time and expertise that she is going to share with us today. I'm Angie Fowler. I'm the Regional Quality and Tourism Manager for the south of Scotland, working in Visit Scotland, right alongside our team of expert professional visitors, the Quality and Tourism Advisors, and they're the ones who deploy the Quality Assurance Scheme for visitor attractions across Scotland. The presentation today by Catherine will last around 30 minutes, but we will have extra time on the end. So, please feel free to ask any questions that you might have, and we'll have time for Catherine and I to address those at the end. So we're thinking we'll spend up to an hour together in total today. Please do feel free to type your questions as we go and as Catherine is speaking. You'll see the questions tab in your control panel that you have on GoToWebinar. So if you look at the top, the orange-red arrow in your panel, if it is pointing to the left, you'll have to click it first, and then it will flip to the right and you'll see your full panel. So then you'll see the questions tab and you can just write anything in there and that will come through to us. Just to let you all know, this presentation is being recorded. So if you've maybe got colleagues that wanted to tune in, or if you might miss one of the next two sessions, because of course it's going to be next Thursday and the week after that too, you'll be able to see these sessions online and listen to them at a later date. A significant proportion of what we'll be hearing today is content from the already hugely successful EVE training course, Exceeding Visitor Expectations, brought to you, of course, this time online. But Catherine has also really helpfully included some practical things to be thinking about as we head into a post-COVID-19 world of operation. While we don't have many sure answers on when and how, we at Visit Scotland, and of course at ASVA and ALVA, are constantly looking to the rest of the world, and we're working alongside experts on trends and insights in order to equip you, the Scottish tourism industry, to translate what opening our doors again will look like in the future. We are, of course, continually looking to government guidelines at this time to get as many answers as possible. But regardless of what happens, please note two things are for sure, and these will be recurring themes over the time that we'll spend together over the next few weeks. Number one, as Bernard Donoghue at ALVA tells us, we are always going to be about staff, not stuff. It always has and it always will be like that. Hospitality, great service, treating visitors with care and patience is going to be key going forward. And number two, getting that pre-arrival stage of the visitor journey correct will be more crucial than ever. And it will be all the more vital to transparently set visitor expectations before they even set foot on your premises. And if you don't do this, you won't stand a chance of exceeding their expectations after they've stepped over your threshold. We can tell we'll be dealing with anxious, uneasy visitors who have been through an awful lot in the past number of months, and they'll need to be hosted with care and patience. And only then will they be able to relax and have a really great, memorable time at your attraction. And they'll need to really see the plans and provisions you have in place for keeping them safe. And Catherine's going to give us some great ideas about things to think about in that realm. So with all of this in our heads, I really can't wait to see how Catherine is going to inspire us all to jump confidently into the future. And as I say, she and I will both be around for any questions you might have at the end. So I'll pass over to her now, and she'll start by giving us some course context and overview.
Morning, my name is Catherine Bowie and I'm here to bring to you Exceeding Visitor Expectations online. This is the first time that we've done this. We are working closely with Visit Scotland and ASVA, the Association of Scottish Visitor Attractions, and felt that it would be really useful at this time when we're in lockdown to start planning and preparing for the customer care that our visitors are going to request from us and need from us when we come out of this lockdown situation. So thanks very much for joining us. This is the first of 3 sessions, the 7th of May, we'll do session number 1 today. The second session will be on the 14th of May, 11 o'clock, and the third session will be on the 21st of May. Each session will last between 30 and 40 minutes long, and there'll be an opportunity for you to ask questions at the end of each of the sessions. So please do write down, prepare your questions. We're very much behind you here to support you, and we'll answer the questions as best as we possibly can. Visit Scotland and the Association of Scottish Visitor Attractions are committed to championing excellent and quality customer services at visitor attractions, so that our visitors do enjoy a really exciting and memorable experience. The course itself was developed by Welcome to Excellence on behalf of Visit Scotland and ASVA, and it was designed to enhance the customer service skills and to focus on improving the quality of the entire visitor experience. The staff and volunteers are all part of the visitor experience, and your knowledge, your skills and enthusiasm make all the difference to a visit, a tour or an activity. If you personally can create great experiences, your visitors will want to stay longer, spend more, return for a repeat visit and recommend your attraction to other people. So the programme is designed to help you to engage, to inspire, to connect with visitors, to really enhance the quality of the visitor experience, and to work closely with your colleagues to boost business, with your colleagues internal and also externally, your collaborators and your competitors. Now, the course does work very closely with the Quality Assurance Grading Scheme, and it is designed to meet national standards. So it will help every participant achieve the full potential in providing this best experience. The assessment from Visit Scotland's Quality Assurance Grading Scheme does require a commitment to be made to Visit Scotland's Code of Practice, so the visitors can be assured that minimum standards have been met. For further information on the Visitor Attraction Quality Scheme and the National Code of Practice, please go online to visitscotland.org/quality visitor attractions, and you can get more information there. So on the slide here, you can see the full programme. The Exceeding Visitor Expectations programme is in 8 short modules. This session will cover the first 2 modules, which is about what is a great experience and what's not such a great experience. And we will be asking you to do some reflection about what you've observed in the time that you have been in lockdown, when you've been visiting banks and supermarkets, who has exceeded your experience and who has not. And then on the second part, we'll look at how we can identify, meet and exceed our visitor expectations. We anticipate that our visitors, when we come out of this lockdown situation, our visitors will be locals and people from perhaps a 1 hour, 1.5 hour radius of your attraction. So probably not the group market and not as many overseas to begin with. So really focusing on what our local people and people in our areas will want from us. As mentioned, Visit Scotland and the Association of Scottish Visitor Attractions are committed to championing quality and excellent customer services at visitor attractions, so that our visitors really enjoy exciting and memorable experiences and go home talking about how great we are. The programme, Exceeding Visitor Expectations, has been developed by Welcome to Excellence on behalf of Visit Scotland and ASVA to enhance staff customer service skills and focus on improving the quality of the entire visitor experience. We've been training this programme out now in Scotland for around 2 years with great success. And what's really important is that staff, volunteers, no matter where you work in the attraction, are all a part of the experience. So your knowledge, your skills, your enthusiasm make all the difference to a visit, a tour, or an activity. Because if you do create these great experiences, visitors will want to stay longer, spend more, return for a repeat visit, and recommend your attraction to others. And what this program does is it helps you to engage and inspire and connect with visitors, to enhance the quality of the visitor experience, but to work with your colleagues to boost business. So it doesn't really matter which part of the attraction you work in, we're all in this together. So whether you're management or in housekeeping or in security or garden, doesn't matter which part of the attraction, as far as a visitor is concerned, we're all in this together to create great experiences. Now, very importantly, we have to meet national standards. We have aligned the programme with Visit Scotland's Quality Assurance Grading Scheme, which itself is designed to inspire and encourage improvements. So they match really well. And it means also that we can then help people to bring out their full potential, to bring out their best. The assessment does require a commitment to be made to Visit Scotland's Code of Practice, so that visitors can be assured that minimum standards have been met. Very important that we keep up the standards and that we're consistent with these standards. If you do need more information on that aspect, the Visitor Attraction Quality Scheme and National Code of Conduct can be seen on Visit Scotland's website, visitscotland.org, and look for quality visitor attractions, and all the information is really clearly depicted then. There will be an opportunity for you to ask questions at the end of the session, and Visit Scotland will be standing by to assist in any of the questions that you may have with regards to how you can align your service with this grading scheme. So creating great experiences, easier said than done, because we got to always be looking for better ways of doing everything. But now is a great time. Now we're at downtime. We do have the time to plan and to consider what our visitors will be, what they're going to look like, and what we can do to create great experiences. Now, to think about that, put yourself in your visitor's shoes. What would be the aspects of your attraction that would really impress you? What are the aspects of your attraction that you think will leave positive memories? And let's really big them up. Let's really enhance what we've got to offer there. Think of yourself, if it makes it easier, as a customer recently. Where have you had a really positive experience? Whether you have phoned your bank, or you have phoned an employer, or you've been in a supermarket, or visited a pharmacy. Who's doing this well at the moment? Who's doing it well, and how are they doing it well? And I can personally guarantee that your positive experience will have been embedded by the personal touch. It's always about the people. It's about how people make us feel. 50% of this is how people make us feel. Conversely, I would like you to think of what are the aspects of your attraction that you don't think shape up that well. This is a great opportunity for you to bolster that, to bolster the weaknesses. And again, where recently have you had experiences that disappointed you? Who took ages in answering their phone? And when they did answer, who was really grumpy and couldn't wait to get you off the phone quickly enough? Or who hasn't delivered on their promise to you? Or who has reneged on a deal that they made with you? We've had all sorts of interesting stories recently about how certain organisations have failed to come up with what they've promised. So a very good opportunity for you to take an overall vision about where are, within your attraction, where are the great experiences that we can really enhance them and work on. So we positioned the programme now, creating great visitor experiences, exceeding visitor expectations. We know that it's all about knowledge, it's about skills, it's about customer care, it's working closely with Visit Scotland. We also know that we're about to embark on a few changes. The market and the landscape that we've been operating in has significantly changed. And this gives us an opportunity then to review what we've been offering and to really focus on our customers. It is anticipated that the people coming through our doors at the beginning will be our local visitors. Our local visitors coming from in the immediate area and perhaps an hour and a half radius of our area. So it's a really good way for us then to hone our new skills. We won't have the complication of large groups at the moment. We won't have the complication of different languages. We will be focusing, it would appear to be, on our local visitors. So what do they want from you? And what I'd like you to really consider in detail is to identify and then meet and then exceed their expectations. The more you know about these people, the easier it is then to do this. So you'll have to ask yourself some questions. Will there be family groups who will want entertainment? Will they be educated people who want education? Will they be people who want to get out in nature and to see what's been happening in the great landscapes? Will it be people who want just to come out and have fun? There will be people who will, their expectations of visitor service will be that they don't want to engage with us because they'll be taking social distancing extremely seriously. But there will be another faction who will want to engage and will have missed being educated and entertained and all the things that we do in visitor attractions. So when we're planning, I'd like you to consider the different categories of visitors that you will welcome and what you can start doing to exceed their expectations. For example, will you be giving one-to-one tours? Or will you be exceeding visitor expectations by offering one person only in one gallery? Or will you be exceeding visitor expectations by allowing visitors to bring in their own picnics, which previously hadn't been allowed? So really, this is where we have to break some of our own rules, but at the same time comply with government guidance. But it's an exciting time. It's a really opportunity for you to reconsider and reconfigure how we're going to identify, meet, and exceed expectations. Having considered the type of visitors that we're likely to see when we come out of this situation, let's talk about making an offer. Your attraction makes an offer to visitors in a number of ways, the most likely source being your website. You tell them what they can expect from a visit, as well as details of location, admissions, opening hours, accessibility. Visitors will naturally expect you to deliver what your attraction has offered. So what does your website say about you? Is it up to date? Are you giving them any extras? Could you put in a virtual tour, or could you have a focus on a particular object? Or could you post up what the gardens are looking like, for example? Similarly with the mobile apps. Again, using social media to keep people fresh, to build momentum, to keep people interested, to give them little snippets of what you could be doing. Recorded messages. Are your telephone messages nice and upbeat? Do you get back to people? Let's not get complacent at this time. Business is still open, it's just our doors are closed. Telephone messages, please check voicemail and ensure that we pick up the phone and be as responsive as you possibly can be, personalising the conversation and ensuring that that visitor has got full information. Also, let's not forget the exterior signage. I've been past some places and the notices are looking a little bit shabby now and a little bit unkempt. So again, let's pay attention to detail, check your exterior signage. Is it looking healthy or does it need to be replenished? We know that visitors to our attractions have high expectations of the facilities and the service that they receive. They want and expect a positive experience from every point of interaction they have with your business, from the first click on your website right through to departure. So anticipating visitor needs and delivering what they want is the key to success here. Visitors will compare your attractions with others they've experienced in Scotland and elsewhere, but they'll also compare your service standards with those of other businesses. Particularly now, people seem to be very, very conscious of the standards, for example, of cleanliness and sanitisation. If you fail to deliver what you've offered and what you used to expect, they're going to be disappointed, irritated, annoyed. They're unlikely to return and will probably tell others about their experience through social media. If you meet visitor expectations, they'll be satisfied. However, a satisfactory experience is not particularly memorable. and is unlikely to be repeated or recommended to others. A visitor might say, that was good, but you know what? Good is not good enough. What we want from this course and what we want from your delivery is for you to exceed expectations, because that creates that loyalty. When you create a memorable experience, you're likely to generate that customer loyalty. And this results in repeat visits, favourable word of mouth, social media recommendations, and your brand gets a real lift. So it's very crucial to manage visitor expectations by, as I've said, finding out what they want from your visit, and also considering what kind of action can you take to manage these expectations at your attraction. What do you think your visitors will be wanting for and what looking for, and what do you think we can do to exceed these expectations? And that will have changed. We'll come to that later on in the programme, but it's important to start figuring it out now. Also, let's check, what do you reckon will be the areas of potential disappointment at your attraction, and what can you do to help to reduce that risk of disappointment? It's often said in customer service that it's better to underpromise and to overdeliver while we're managing expectations. And seeking to prevent disappointments by establishing in advance what could be the potential disappointments and how you're going to combat that. And as part of this planning, as part of the pre-opening training, we have to look at some of the areas of disappointment. One of the ones that I'm going to focus on is going to be the queue. There's likely to be a very strong focus on the way that we manage queues, definitely. We'll have seen ourselves, as you've queued in your supermarkets, that some supermarkets have, as I said, handled it really well, really organised with demarcation and people in place to help monitor the queue and to help with the flow of the traffic. But there's other places that have just been shambolic, and that has really dented their brand and dented their customer service. And we do love talking about queues in this country. So again, part of this planning process when we are in lockdown, let's reconsider what kind of pre-arrival information and ticket purchase options can we offer our visitors, and also how are we going to manage that visitor flow? How many people, for example, can we reasonably allow in our attractions? How many people in each room? If you're a museum or a gallery or a castle, in parks, how are we going to monitor that? Are you going to create one-way systems? If so, how will you assist that? Will it be demarcation, or will you have team members then helping to signpost and to almost act like traffic controllers? Speeding up the admission process as well. Contactless is upped the limit, which is great. That's helped a lot. We will not want to deal in cash. That'll be one of the first things that we will have to be very, very careful of. And it might be that you want to provide, I would think, probably little printed, but maybe more audiovisual information at your admission points. And if you do, or you do provide, or you have in the past provided entertainment, which some attractions have done, just to help alleviate the boredom in queues and to keep people interested, what will that entertainment look like? It might not have to be physical entertainment. It might have to be, again, audiovisual or some kind of other format. Offering other options, this is where we're going to have to be creative. Time tickets have been very successful for a lot of attractions in the past. It may be something that you've avoided, but to date, it could really work well for us. It does mean that less people can come in at one time, but that they will experience probably a fuller appreciation of your attraction, and it will suit people who are particularly concerned about social distancing and being in a room with so many people. So a lot to consider there, but again, we will look through this when we talk about your visitor journey. Understanding, identifying visitor expectations is crucial to the whole of this programme. We'll consider that over the whole session this morning. But now, what specifically do you think your visitors will expect from the physical environment, and how can you then incorporate that into your new offering? Thinking about the operation, the toilet operation, for example, thinking about the car park operation, thinking about the queues, thinking about what you're going to do to sanitize screens. Are you going to have hands-on objects? And if so, how are you going to manage that? What are you going to do with the social distancing? These are all questions that we have to be asking ourselves. And then, what do they then expect from us, from the staff and volunteers that they meet? Well, they obviously want us to be welcoming and encouraging and supportive and empathetic and solution driven, absolutely, and as smiley as ever. They'll also want us to be really well trained. They really want us to know the ins and outs of the operation, what they can do and what they can't do, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. We will talk in the third session about being assertive, which will be probably even more prevalent than ever when we open our gates up towards the end of this year. How are visitor expectations changing at your attractions? Well, there'll be a lot of changes because we are going into this new normal, and some of these changes we don't really know what they'll be until we come across them. So we can only anticipate. But clearly there are key trends, and we already know, first of all, that customers expect us to be proactive and inspiring. So very important from the very planning stage to the actual doing. They also expect us to have comprehensive mobile-friendly websites, as there's an increasing reliance on mobiles and tablets for checking information, commenting on service, and sending us photographs. Customers also will vote with their feet. If things go wrong, people simply won't go back. I think one of the things that lockdown has taught us is that we've become quite intolerant when people have given us sloppy standards. One thing that doesn't change, and it's a real trend, is personalisation of service. And I did touch on this earlier. We will have fewer numbers to begin with, and that's a really good reason then for us to personalise the service, to get us to know the individual needs and wants of that visitor, and then to deliver what that particular aspect is. They will expect us to have a wide range of topics at our fingertips. Information about what's going on in the area, what's open, what's not open, what they can do, what they can't do. So the retraining of what is happening and your local knowledge is going to be absolutely of paramount importance here. But also the service that meets individual and additional needs. Again, reflecting on the supermarkets, which is the customer service that we've been considering recently, a lot of the supermarkets opened especially early on for people who needed specific shielding, or for people with disabilities or NHS workers, just to give them that little bit more time and that little bit more space. Again, that's something that we could be reconsidering when you're talking about your trends. One of the fascinating aspects of tourism is the different types of people that we work with. And within that, there are depths of interest, and some of them are more interested in our subjects than others. So picture them in this format: the paddlers, the people who may have lived in the locality but have never been to visit you before. And they might not have spent too long there, but they're a great way for you to create fantastic experiences so they do come back and they become regulars. Or you might have people who are swimmers, who have maybe been in once or twice before and who spend a couple of hours with you, and they know the attraction, they know the subject, but they want a little bit more this time, something a little bit more different. And then you've got the divers who have been regulars or are experts in the particular subject area, and who probably will need some more time with you and some more detail of information. So quite important to establish who's what, so that we can pitch what they want from us so that we can exceed their expectations, because clearly we're going to have to tailor our service offering. If we give the paddlers the amount of information that we give the divers, we will bore them. But if we give the divers the information we're giving the paddlers, it will patronise them. So it's finding that middle ground. So part of exceeding visitor expectations is to find out what they want from the visit. It's the easiest thing to find out what they want from a very early stage, find out if they've been there before and what brings them to the area and what you can do for them. Some attractions have added deep sea divers, so people who are absolute experts in that particular service area, in that particular area of expertise, and probably know more than we do. But again, we can learn a lot from them. They do take up some time, but they are worth it because we learn so much from it and then we invest in our skills. So just an interesting slide. Again, an area of tourism that's that's still being researched, but where it was worth bringing into this discussion so you can add that into your new service provision. Having reconsidered who our visitors are going to be, let's now look at a typical family day out, and very useful exercise for you to do in your teams and in detail, please, to look at every step of the visitor journey, from the pre-arrival right through to remembering the experience at the attraction after a visit. And to look at these almost as links in your chain, and to review the links in your chain and to strengthen the weaker ones so that you're providing a seamless journey for the visitor, at the same time adhering to the new regulations or the new guidance that we're going to be putting into place. Very useful exercise. I know from experience that team members really enjoy getting involved and contributing to this, and also it forms part of your training plan for when we do then open our gates up to our public. Part of this as well is, while we're at home or working from home, let's find out about who's doing what in our area. This is a great opportunity for your locality to work very closely together. Now, typically attractions do face fierce competition to attract visitors and from other areas. But although nearby attractions and activity providers may be viewed as direct competitors, it can be much more productive to view them as your partners in attracting visitors to your area, particularly now. A group or family group would not necessarily travel a long distance to visit an attraction with a relatively short dwell time and no catering facilities. However, they could be persuaded to visit an area for a full day if 2 or more attractions work together to promote a great day out. So yeah, I would definitely recommend check out other attractions websites, read up about them, visit them when they're open, get together with them to see what you can do to create really attractive packages so that your area then becomes a magnet for that family day out. While recreating this new visitor journey, there are some ideas that we've offered here for reopening. Some of them are more practical than others. We've used some ideas that we've seen overseas. So queues, for example, keeping them 6 meters away from the entrance points, ensuring that they're kept short, 10 people max probably to begin with. Again, that we'll have to monitor that and see how that goes. Whatever you're doing, ensure that you have got that on your website, making it clear to the public. Social distancing guidelines, whether you use directional arrows, whether you use tape, whether you use team members to demark the 2 meter areas. I've seen some people who are already printing up t-shirts with the social distancing required on the t-shirt so that team members are constantly reminding the public of it. Tours and activities, could we reconfigure them to create specialist tours, tailored groups or activities for groups of 2? They could be shorter. It could be, again, a way of exceeding expectations when people are least expecting it. The food outlets, can we now allow picnics in the areas? Is that acceptable? Again, it's something to think about. Reception areas, we're going to have to look at plexiglass screens, again, to protect our team members. Again, to protect team members, no more use of cash, move on to paperless ticketing so that we don't have to deal with any paper if possible, and protecting team members with masks, gloves, and hand gel so that they feel confident in dealing with the public, and the public then visibly see what we are doing to create a safe environment. Some other ideas for reopening while you're refiguring the visitor journey that we spoke about earlier. What about your cloakrooms? Would you consider freestanding coat racks to disperse the congestion? What about lockers? We use 1 and 3. Lifts, again, we'll have to limit the number of people in each lift. How will we manage that? Things like checking stock in toilets and hand washing activities. making sure that they're really well stocked because there'll be an increase in that. Audio guides, are they properly disinfected? Touch screens, is it worth keeping them on? Can we keep them clean enough, or will we just switch them off? And at any touch point in the organisation, having hand gel available so that visitors again can feel reassured that you're doing everything that you can to keep the place clean. One of our main objectives throughout this new visitor journey is to really shout from the rooftops to our visitors that we're taking their hygiene very, very seriously. So a great idea to have a dedicated hygiene colleague to be visibly cleaning handles, etc., to remove any open bowls, samples, testers, that kind of thing. Also to take away kids' ride-ons that could be tricky to keep clean. Fitting rooms, get rid of them. Again, small spaces, congested. And a really good idea is to get face masks made with your logo on them. So I hope that's been helpful. As we get more experience in this new normal, we'll have more ideas to share with you. They're just beginning to take shape and to formulate. But as I say, a really important thing for you to do at the moment with your teams is to go right through the new service journey and to think about what changes you're going to have to make, which are the practical changes, what you can offer and what you can no longer offer, and to make that loud and clear in all of your communications. Coming to the end of our first session then on exceeding visitor expectations, let's do a recap on what we've talked about. Exceeding visitor expectations, I offered you some information about the background of the programme and your opportunity to develop knowledge and skills in line with meeting national standards and some of the guidance notes that Visit Scotland have offered us, but also we'll be looking in more detail later on the guidance that the government are offering us. We then talked about what are positive and negative experiences. Where in this lockdown have you had experiences that really impressed you, the sort of service that you thought, wow, we should be doing that in our attraction? But conversely, we also asked you to reflect on the kind of experiences that you haven't enjoyed, maybe lack of response time or that couldn't be bothered attitude. And again, would we get that kind of experience on your watch? This is all about self-reflection and reflecting on what we've done in the past and how we can pick out the best bits and move on and create an even better future for our attractions and for our visitors. We move then on to Unit 2, and Unit 2 is entitled Identifying, Meeting and Exceeding Visitor Expectations. We ask you to consider who do you think are going to be your new visitors, who are going to come through the doors first at this start of the season. And we talked about probably your local market. So again, how much do you understand them? How well do you know them? What do you think they'll want? What do you think they need? What will you be able to do to excite them and to create memorable experiences so that they'll repeat and recommend and become loyal fans and ambassadors? We then moved on to your offering online. Does your offering online, is it attractive to that particular target audience? And if not, could that be tweaked? Because it's really important that we deliver the promise that we offer. So when they come in, they think, yes, this is exactly what we wanted, this is exactly what we needed, and yes, they've exceeded our expectations. We've considered why it's important to manage expectations, why it's important to ask, to engage with visitors, to find out what they want from us, what we can do to really excite them. But we also considered what could be the areas of potential disappointment. We focus particularly on queues. There will be other areas that we can discuss at a later stage. We then asked you to recognise what you think your visitors will expect from the physical environment, and we've touched on that. Again, we'll go into more detail later on. And then very importantly, what are the expectations, or what kind of changed expectations are there? What are the trends? Proactivity being the main one, increasing reliance on devices for checking information, personalisation of service, being able to provide information on a wide range of topics, and service that meets individual needs. We then asked you as homework, if you like, to go with your teams to completely reconfigure your visitor journey, taking account all the different changes that we are going to have to put into play, and how you can then reconstruct the visitor journey so you're exceeding expectations, but at the same time keeping people safe and secure and reassuring them. And lastly, we've discussed how important it's going to be to work closely together to let's not have any fragmented service. Let's join up here and really work with our competition and collaborate so that we create a really good area, a really good place for visitors to come to. So there's 2 or 3 things for them to do so we can promote great days out. There we go, that's it from myself. I'll sign off for now. I will be around to answer some questions later on, but I hope that's been useful. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye for now.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Yes, you'll be around to answer some questions just now alongside me, Angie from Visit Scotland. You'll see my contact details as well on this current slide. And just as we'll give you some time to fire in some questions via that questions tab, as some of you have been doing, which is great. I'll also direct you to the handouts tab, and this current slide can be downloaded, so you can click on the URLs and keep our contact details handy should we be able to be of any advice or assistance to you. Do feel free to contact me directly and use these links for the information as well. Yep, keep your questions coming in. I know I speak on behalf of Catherine and myself that we miss you. We wish that we were all together just now, because on this course we get some great opportunity for discussion and sharing examples of experiences we've had. So now is a chance for a wee bit of that, and I'll start to dig into these questions just now. Some great ones coming in. Catherine, I think this one is going to be for you, if you're able to take the first one. Very useful. Thank you very much. We find this presentation useful. Do you think that possibly, given the wartime mentality going on at the present and the feeling that we're all in the same boat, that visitors might actually lower their expectations for a while?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I think our expectations probably have been reduced, which is in some way a great opportunity for us then to, when they do come in, just let them know that we really do care. Angie mentioned earlier the kind of kindness and patience and the consideration that so many visitors are going to be anxious. There's great opportunities for here, just to be that old-fashioned, kind and caring people that, you know, we are.
Yes, that's a good question. And I think that this second question for you as well, maybe Catherine, although it could be an unknown, on one of the suggestions about new measures that we could put in place given the current context, one of the attractions with us today has actually thought about branded face masks, but their colleagues were unsure. Do we think that selling things like this might be seen as profiteering from the crisis and might paint us in a negative light?
Again, a good question. I would be very careful of being too opportunistic here. I think it would be a way of exceeding expectations to do some giveaways. You could maybe have 2 different qualities, sort of lighter quality just for the day visit, and if you wanted to keep the mask as a momentum or for a loyal repeat customer, then maybe upsell that. But be very aware that we shouldn't be too opportunistic here, because people have learned, as the other question, to be frugal. We've got wartime mentality. We won't want to be upselling too much right now.
Great. And yeah, a few questions coming in on a practical note about the webinar. It will be available for everyone online. We'll hope to get the recordings up on VisitScotland.org for everyone to see and access at a later date, or share with colleagues if they've not managed to attend themselves. So the next 2 sessions will be similarly uploaded and available for everyone. Catherine, I love this question. Catherine, what pet peeves do you have in terms of regular failings in providing a great visitor experience?
So the things that I've seen recently, body language is going to play a big part in this. My peeve is that when I'm asked to wait in a queue, how I am told, you know, not the hand in my face job, please, thank you, that was really embarrassing, or the very authoritative way of asking people to stand back. And we'll look at this in the second session, but there are pleasant, elegant ways of asking people to stand in a queue and to wait their turn. That's my main peeve. The second one has to be voicemails not being responded to in this lockdown, which is why I made that point on one of my slides. Please do keep checking your voicemail, and let's be as responsive as possible. As I mentioned, our gates might be closed, but our businesses are not. So really important to keep communicating with our visitors. That's one of my other peeves.
That's great. Really useful. We've got a few questions coming in about practicalities and policies, for example, government guidelines. And of course, we are all still waiting on these coming through and changing on a daily or weekly basis. Please be assured that both ASVA and Visit Scotland are on the Scottish Tourism Emergency Response Group. And this group is the one that looks at the reopening guidelines for the sector. And we know that many of our partners and members are seeking clear guidance on reopening, and we are going to be continuing to do our best to communicate these to you in any way that we can. I know that ASVA sent some guidelines to their members yesterday, which is at least a good template that can be used to get started. So as this will be a moving feast, this can maybe be a theme that we continue to pick up on over the next couple of weeks as well. Catherine, another question for you. How can I exceed visitor expectations for visitors with extra access requirements, especially at this time?
This is a really complex question. I don't know which attraction it is and what you've got in place at the moment, but yeah, please reconsider again what our visitors with disabilities and special needs will, how they'll manage to access our services. I'm going to give it quite a lot of consideration, and I think also it's really important for us to keep working very closely with Ewan's guide, who no doubt will also have fuller information. As Angie mentioned earlier, we're still waiting for some instructions from the government, and we will be talking about this. It may be worth considering that and following up with a separate seminar or webinar rather.
Great, thank you. And one about the quality assurance scheme. How will the Visit Scotland quality assurance scheme work post-COVID? One for me. So our aim at Visit Scotland will be 100% the same, to work right alongside you as a tourism business to get you to where you want to be. It has been great to hear from a couple of attractions that are looking forward to their next visit in terms of practicalities or investments that they might have made already. As always, we'll be there to give direct feedback on the visitor experience that you offer, and we'll be able to help highlight any sources of maybe confusion or frustration, with the temporary measures put in place. So we'll be able to get alongside you and come up with ideas or certainly real-time feedback on the measures you've had in place. So, and again, as we always strive to do, our quality and tourism advisors will have in mind the full context of what is going on, and they will be looking at your full customer journey from the pre-arrival stage as well, to again, to really try and reinforce the message that anything you can do to give customers a heads up of what kind of experience they might be coming to, it will really help with their own reassurance and feeling more easy on the day. So ideas like Catherine was saying about measures that you could put in place on a temporary basis that you wouldn't normally do. For example, allowing picnics, tell visitors in advance so they can plan their day accordingly and have a great time with you there. Just as we get a few more questions in, I wanted to ask a small opinion poll. So I wonder if I can send out this poll, just a couple of questions that you can answer just now. I'm just going to launch it and you should hopefully see it. If you go into the polls tab, yeah, there you go. Are you an indoor or outdoor attraction business? Thank you. Yeah, percentages coming up. Most of us indoor attractions, with around a quarter of us online outdoor attractions right now. We know that the difference will be significant in terms of viability for social distancing measures, or certainly ease of being able to implement something new. And it's great to glean that insight. And just one more. Do you feel confident that you will be able to open soon after restrictions ease? And just leaving a bit of time for that to come through. A lot of us unconfident, and I assume that that's because we're waiting on more guidelines and the confidence will grow. But it's great to see just under half of us feeling confident about opening our doors again and being able to welcome visitors in some way. So thank you so much for answering that. Yeah, there's a lot about asking about dates on reopening or any other information coming through from government, and I would urge everyone to keep looking at their ASVA updates, emails that are coming through almost daily, and also VisitScotland.org, where we will be summarising any guidelines to industry there. Just drawing your attention again to the PDF handout that you can download, and the fact that we will spend time together at the same time next Thursday, 11 a.m. and we'll be able to gather in any other questions or comments that you're making currently, and factor those into the session next week as well. And in Catherine's words, the second session is the meatiest one. So we look forward to spending time with you then, and see you next week. Thank you so much.